So for the part 2 of RNA virus, let's start with Orthomyxoviridae. So for the Orthomyxoviridae, so family is Orthomyxoviridae types, you do have now your influenza. So your influenza has type A, B, and C. So A and B are the usual major cause of illnesses, and type C of influenza is usually subclinical. So the genome of this virus is single-stranded, segmented, negative sense RNA. So envelope, it has an envelope with hemagglutinin, so HA, and neuraminidase glycoprotein. So that is the unique characteristic of your Orthomyxoviridae. It has a hemagglutinin and neuraminidase in its envelope. So for influenza A, it infects human, bird, swine, seal, and other animals. So undergoes antigenic drift. Again, pag sinabi natin antigenic drift, small mutation. Pag antigenic shift, major resortment. Okay, causes usually pandemic. So we do have examples of this such as your Spanish flu in 1918 and your H1N1 in year 2009. Okay, how about your influenza type B or influenza B? It only infects human. Okay, undergoes antigenic drift but not antigenic shift. So kung si A, no, madami siyang infection in mammals and even birds. Okay, it also undergoes antigenic drift and shift, but your influenza B, humans lang ang ini-infect, and it only has antigenic drift. Causes seasonal outbreaks but not pandemic. Okay? And then yung type C, mild infection, no major health threat. Kasi nga subclinical lang yung C. Okay. So antigenic variability and pandemic. So for your antigenic drift, your gradual mutation occurs usually in A, B, and C, and then causes seasonal outbreak. What about your antigenic shift? This usually major genetic resortment, major genetic resortment. Okay, occurs only in influenza A and happens when two different strains infect the same host, such as your swine, as mixing vessel, and leads to pandemic due to lack of immunity in population due to the antigenic shift. Kaya nahihirapan mag-produce yung katawan mo ng antibodies. Okay? So, notable influenza pandemic. So, your influenza, Spanish flu in 1918, your H1N1, usually the death are in 50 million deaths worldwide. In 1957, your Asian flu, H2N2. Okay? And in Hong Kong, in 1968, your H3N2. Then H1N1 ulit, the triple resortment of human, avian, and swine strain in 2009. Okay. Transmission. So, aerolized respiratory droplet. So, kaya medyo mahirap kasi respiratory droplet. And this is usually airborne yung cause. Okay, airborne. No? Then, okay, incubation period is 1 to 4 days. And symptoms of this infection is fever, chills, cough, sore throat, muscle ache, and fatigue. So, ito yan, cough and sore throat naman for this one. This is the hallmark for your influenza. And in severe cases, usually leading to pneumonia and bacterial co-infection, specifically your MRSA or methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. So, what are the diagnostics that we could utilize? The gold standard for this is viral culture in about 3 to 10 days for result, but you could also utilize rapid tests such as your antigen test, but it has a low sensitivity at up to 30% false negatives, and RT-PCR, highly sensitive, detects viral RNA now, no, common na siya here in the Philippines due to the increased number of your molecular laboratories. On the serological test naman, okay, this detects antibody but not useful for early diagnosis since your influenza is equipped with antigenic shift and drift that usually invalidates the immunogenic response of your body. Okay. Next, what are the usual prevention and treatments of vaccination? We do have influenza vaccine or flu vaccine. Annual flu vaccine, annual meaning yearly po binibigay yung ating flu vaccine. And usually, it targets 3 to most strains of your flu. Okay? Recommended for high-risk groups, especially your elderly, pregnant, women, and even healthcare worker. Kaya ngayon, required na sa inyo for their internship that you will have your flu vaccine. And then we could utilize antiviral drugs such as your neuraminidase inhibitors, such as your oseltamivir and zanamivir. Okay? Kasi nga, di ba, may neuraminidase siya sa kanyang envelope, kaya pwede natin siyang gamitin ng neuraminidase inhibitor such as your oseltamivir and zanamivir. So it reduces severity and duration if taken early on onset of your disease. So here is the um, summary of table of your Orthomyxoviridae or your influenza viruses. Next is your Paramyxoviridae. For Paramyxoviridae, okay, they are negative sense single-stranded RNA viruses. They are enveloped with helical symmetry and do not undergo antigenic shift unlike your Orthomyxoviridae and causes usually respiratory disease in human. And some members also affects the animals such as your Nipah virus in pigs. So usually your Paramyxoviridae is related to your Orthomyxoviridae. And yeah, Paramyxo naman kung kanina kay Orthomyxo is influenza, now in Paramyxo we do have your para-influenza viruses or human para-influenza viruses. So it has 4 types, your human para-influenza virus 1, 2, 4. And transmission usually same with your Orthomyxo but in inclusion of your fomites in para-influenza or Paramyxoviridae. Common in children, causing usually your para-influenza croup or your tracheobronchitis in children and your para-influenza 3, severe pneumonia and bronchitis in infants. So what are your lab diagnoses for this? We could utilize cell culture, immunofluorescence, but again, PCR is the gold standard for most of your viral identification. So major viruses. So we do have first is your second is your respiratory syncytial virus. So it is also a leading cause of respiratory related illnesses in your children such as your bronchitis and pneumonia in less than 5 years of age and also affects elderly with high morbidity and mortality. Contains fusion protein or your F protein that forms syncytial cells, no? Yan yung syncytial cells, causing around 14,000 deaths and 100,000 hospitalization annually in US. So how do we prevent your RSV? Usually, okay, RSV immune serum for high-risk infants. So usually your parang vaccination, no? Diagnosis, PCR, antigen detection, and cell culture. Next, we have your mumps virus under Paramyxoviridae. Causes mumps. Okay. Swelling of your salivary glands. Ito ang Tagalog ay beke. Okay? And swelling of salivary glands accompanied with fever and fatigue. So, bakit daw nilalagyan ng color blue yung beke? Gamot daw po ba yon yung tina na nilalagay? Actually, it was a practice way back in old times that they put blue tint or blue color in those who are infected with mumps in order for them to have a precautionary measure such as social distancing with that individual who is infected with mumps. So parang prevention lang siya. Hindi talaga siya treatment. You just identify or put a marking on the individual that is infected with mumps. Okay? Can lead to complications such as your arthritis. So arthritis is the testicular inflammation wherein this arthritis can also cause infertility in males. Siyempre, males lang naman yung may testis, kaya sila lang yung pwede maging infertile. Okay, kaya yung moms medyo delikado siya when it comes to newborn babies. And again, less than 1 year of age of baby. Okay, yan, arthritis and sterility. Then they are highly contagious. They spread via salivary or respiratory droplets. That's why, okay, kaya ninamarkahan nila ng blue. Okay, dati. But this can be prevented by MMR vaccine, meaning your mumps, measles, and rubella vaccine. And this reduces already the cases by 99%. And the diagnosis, we utilize serological, IgG, IgM, and PCR as a gold standard, and your virus isolation from saliva, urine, and pharyngeal secretion. Also, still, no, you can have your booster as an adult for MMR. Okay. Next, your measles virus or your morbilli virus. Okay, causes measles or rubiola. Okay, and what is the hallmark or manifestation of this disease is your Koplik spots. So Koplik spots is a whitish, okay, parang pearl-like, okay, spots with red halo inside the mouth. So usually it's on your cheeks, no? Cheeks ng bata, nasa loob na part ng cheeks. And highly generalized rash. Okay? Highly contagious by airborne droplet and can lead to serious complications such as your encephalitis and pneumonia. And again, this is included in your MMR vaccine, which nearly eradicated in the developed countries. So here in the Philippines, usually bihira na, when I was still in epidemiology, bihira na kami maka-encounter ng measles spot. One case is already a epidemic. Okay, an outbreak or epidemic. Okay, diagnosis, serological can be utilized or PCR. Again, PCR here in the Philippines by that time, medyo mahirap sa RITM lang ginagawa. And if for this kind of infections, usually hindi pa equip yung ating ibang molecular lab. And still, we need to send them in your RITM or your Research Institute for Tropical Medicine or cell culture can also be utilized as a diagnostic parameter for your measles virus. Next, your metapneumovirus. So this is a recently discovered virus wherein this is called closely related to your respiratory syncytial virus. And second to third leading cause of hospitalization in children with respiratory infection. It causes bronchiolitis and pneumonia in infants. And how do we diagnose this? This can be difficult to be cultured because this is a new one. So wala pa masyadong kung anong viral culture yung pwedeng gamitin when it comes to culture, but we can utilize PCR since we can already detect your RNA genome. Next, your Nipah virus. For your Nipah virus, this is an emerging paramyxovirus. First outbreak was noted in Malaysia in 1999. This causes encephalitis and severe respiratory illness. If you would notice on my paramyxoviridae, they usually is accompanied with respiratory illness. Okay, and zoonotic transmission from bats and pigs. That's why this paramyxoviridae not only infects human, okay, especially the Nipah virus, it infects also your bats and pigs or other mammals to be exact. So they have high fatality rate, around 108 deaths in the first outbreak in 1999. Okay, so this is a table summarizing your paramyxoviridae family. Okay. Next is your Picorna viridae. So for Picorna viridae, they have a structure of small, okay, kaya pico, small, maliit, with 20 to 30 nanometer. They are non-enveloped, single-stranded RNA virus with icosahedral shape or symmetry, and the transmission is usually fecal-oral or even respiratory droplets. And fomites can be also a harboring element for this type of virus. So diseases, usually it can cause septic meningitis, polio, myocarditis, and even respiratory infection. So what are the risk group for this? Oh, of course, the poor hygiene. Kaya nga, no, very, very, very naging mindful ang mga tao during COVID-19 when it comes to hand hygiene. Very basic, but it is very effective in preventing infections specifically for your viruses. Overcrowding. So, isa din yan, problem. And inadequate sanitation. So, poor hygiene. Okay, major groups, usually your enteroviruses, rhinoviruses, and your hepatitis A virus. So, pag sinabi nating enterovirus naman, this includes your poliovirus and Coxsackie viruses. Pag ecoviruses naman, your hepatitis A virus. Okay, so first on the list is your poliovirus. So transmission, fecal-oral route. And usually can be also manifested or transmitted via respiratory secretion. So, infection site, usually the respiratory tract, causing viremia, CNS infection, muscles, no, that is being affected usually, and the meninges, causing, no, paralysis. So this is the hallmark of your polio, your paralysis. And, okay, paralytic polio, okay, paralysis. So clinical for forms, you do have your asymptomatics or your abortive polio. This is around 90% of cases. It has no mild or no symptoms at all. For aseptic meningitis or non-paralytic polio, around 1 to 2% of cases, and the paralytic polio is around also 1 to 2 cases affecting the spinal cord and the motor neuron. That's why they could manifest with paralysis. Okay? And no, another hallmark for this one is your atrophic muscles. Okay? Mas lumiliit yung mga muscles nila. Okay, so vaccination. We do have two types of vaccine available for polio. We do have the inactivated polio vaccine, which is injected on your muscles, okay, to prevent CNS invasion. And you also have your oral polio vaccine. Kaya dalawa yung binibigay na vaccine, okay, which is a live attenuated mucosal immunity but risk for vaccine-associated paralytic poliomyelitis, no? And also, on oral polio vaccine, this can be related to outbreak. How? By shedding. A viral shedding. So, since this is ingested, okay, so, and live attenuated, no, and no, during excretion or defecation of patient, pwedeng may sumamang polio virus. And no, if ever na since this is a fecal-oral route, if ever na hindi naghugas na maayos yung bata, okay, na-infect niya yung ibang tao, pwede yun. And eradication efforts, the WHO global campaign for polio endemic in few countries. So in the Philippines, no, polio has been almost eradicated, almost. But in 2018, unfortunately, 2018 or 2018 or 2019, we had a polio outbreak. Okay, that is 8 cases was documented that time, but and then again, no, this was isolated in those area that didn't reach vaccination at all. Okay. So next, Coxsackie viruses. So Coxsackie viruses are divided into two groups based on their pathogenic effect in mice. So we do have Coxsackie virus A and B. So pag A, they could cause placid paralysis or muscle weakening, and the B naman, spastic paralysis or muscle stiffening. Okay? So the transmission of this pathogen, usually the route is fecal-oral pa rin. Respiratory droplets can be transmission and direct contact. So primary replication usually found in your oropharynx and gastrointestinal tract. Kaya Coxsackie virus can also manifest with gastrointestinal symptoms. So spreads via viremia allows it to reach your target organs such as your heart, brain, skin, and muscle. Kaya no, Coxsackie virus A is the usual cause of your hand, foot, and mouth disease. O, ayan. No, trending din to last month, your hand, foot, and mouth disease. So, what are the symptoms? So, fever, sore throat, pain per vesicular region, specifically on hands, feet, and even inside or in your buccal part or mouth. Okay? So, yan. Kaya nga hand, foot, and mouth disease. Okay, so common serotypes, you have your Coxsackie virus 16, A16 and A6, and your enterovirus 71. So transmission is highly contagious among young children, kaya nga iniiwasan makipag socialize yung mga bata. And complications are rare but may lead to viral meningitis or encephalitis. Nagkaroon lang ng outbreak last month ang hand, foot, and mouth disease. So, it can also cause herpangina. So, the symptoms of herpangina is high fever and sore throat and pain per ulcerated lesion on your soft palate, uvula, and even in tonsils. Can cause anorexia or loss of appetite since it is very painful to eat. Kaya ayaw kumain ng pasyente. Common serotype that causes this is your Coxsackie A1 to 10. At-risk group primarily affects children under 10 years of age. Next disease that is associated with Coxsackie A is your acute hemorrhagic conjunctivitis. So, ano naman symptoms nito? Sudden onset of painful red eyes with subconjunctival hemorrhage. And the usual serotype that causes this is your Coxsackie virus A24. So, transmission is direct contact with infected eye secretion. So, ito yung sore eyes. Okay? Sore eyes. Next is your Coxsackie B virus, which usually causes heart-correlated conditions such as your myocarditis and your pericarditis. So, what is the manifestation? Fever, of course, chest pain due to the heart involvement, and heart palpitations. You could also see heart failure in severe cases since viral infection such as this are very difficult to treat. And common serotypes is your Coxsackie virus 3 and 5, and complication can lead to dilated cardiomyopathy. Next is your Borlum disease or your pleurodenia or your devil's grip. So sudden severe chest pain, fever, muscle tenderness, especially in the intercostal muscle. Kaya devil's grip kasi para kang pinipiga daw ng demonyo sa iyong thorax. Okay? Common serotypes is your Coxsackie virus 1 to 5. And of course, no, symptoms usually last 4 to 6 days but can be recurrent. Another disease that can be caused by Coxsackie virus B is your aseptic meningitis. So fever, headache, stiff neck, and photophobia are associated with this one, and even nausea and vomiting. Common serotype that causes this one is your Coxsackie virus B1, B5, B1 to B5, and your Coxsackie virus A9. Usual self-limiting but requires hospitalization since it has a possible complication of meningitis. Neonatal infections, such that could be symptoms such as your sepsis like illness, myocarditis, hepatitis, encephalitis. And the usual risk group for this one are your newborns infected with vertical transmission from the mother. So, si mother infected, napunta lang kay baby. Kaya nga, kasama siya kay Torch, si Coxsackie. And prognosis, high mortality rate in severe cases. Under pa rin ng picornavirus is your echovirus. Your echovirus stands for enteric cytopathic human orphan virus. Okay? Originally not linked to disease, but now this is recognized as major cause of viral meningitis, exanthem, wherein your red rash, and febrile illnesses. Transmission is usually pico-oral route and respiratory droplet with also contaminated water. So, what are the diseases causing by your echovirus? First is your aseptic meningitis, no, most common viral cause of meningitis worldwide, and the usual symptoms of your aseptic meningitis. Serotypes are E6, E9, 11, and 30, and diagnosis is usually via CSF analysis shows elevated WBC with normal glucose. So again, no, meron tayong parameter pag bacterial meningitis, fungal, or viral meningitis. So usually pag glucose, mababa siya kay bacterial at kay fungal. Normal siya kay viral. Pag WBC naman, mataas siya kay bacterial, specifically the neutrophils. Okay? Okay, pagka naman viral, it's lymphocytes. Okay, yung mga ganyang parameter. So, febrile illness with rash or exanthem. Symptoms usually mild fever, maculopapular rash with your with your rubella. Okay, common serotypes is echovirus E4, 9, and 16. And transmission mostly in children and outbreak in daycare schools. Kasi nga, syempre, since minsan asymptomatic, rush lang naman, hindi napapansin. Okay? Next, neonatal sepsis-like syndrome. This is a severe, life-threatening illness in the newborn, and no symptoms are usually fever, irritability. Bakit irritable? Kasi nga, um, newborns cannot express themselves na hindi naman nila masasabing masakit yung ganito ko, masakit yung ganyan ko. Kaya, irritable. And they have poor feeding and hepato. Common serotypes is your E11 and E30. Complication can lead to myocarditis, hepatitis, and even meningoencephalitis. Next is your respiratory and gastrointestinal infection, such as fever, with manifestation of symptoms such as fever, cough, sore throat, and diarrhea. Common serotype is your E4 and E11. So how do we diagnose this Coxsackie and echovirus? Usually, the specimen collection for Coxsackie and echo is throat swab, stool sample, and even CSF. And pag Coxsackie A, your hand, foot, and mouth, and your hair vagina, vesicular fluid swab. So kasi since may vesicle sila or meron silang mga parang fluid-filled vesicles, pwede yun yung kunin yung sample. And for Coxsackie B, you could use blood or heart tissue biopsy since this is involved in myocarditis. Okay. Laboratory methods, viral culture, of course, cell culture in primate or human cell lines. PCR or molecular testing is prepared for CSF samples specifically for meningitis. And serological test for epidemiological studies such as for screening. Prevention and control. No vaccine available for this type of virus. And preventive measures still hand washing since most of these are pico-oral route and avoid contact with infected individuals. So social distancing. Disinfect surfaces in daycare, school, and hospital since it can be spread via fomites and isolation of infected infants in neonatal units. Next, Picorna viridae is your rhinovirus, wherein this is the most frequent cause of common colds. Okay? And transmission is via contaminated hands and respiratory droplet. Incubation is mabilis. Layang mabilis lang incubation niya. 8 to 10 hours. Kaya nga pag nabahingan ka, no, ng isang tao, kaya nga kino-cover your mouth when you sneeze because sometimes rhinovirus can incubate rapidly. And symptoms may appear within 1 to 3 days. Symptoms, nasal congestion, pagbabara ng ilong, sore throat, sneezing, and even mild fever. Hepatitis A, this is under genus Hepatovirus, and genome is positive sense, single-stranded virus, and it doesn't have any envelope, so this is naked icosahedral protein shell. And resistance, they are highly stable in environment, resistant to heat, acid, detergents, and even desiccation kasi nga naked. Okay, can survive in water, food for extended period of time. Kaya nga common siya sa atin dito sa Pilipinas. Kaya nga sikat yung hepaline sa FEU dati. Okay? Inactivated via chlorination, formalin, UV radiation, and even autoclaving. Okay? Kaya most of our water is treated with chlorine. Okay. So global burden caused by around 1.5 symptomatic cases annually, but infection are more often underreported. Common in developing countries with poor sanitation. Okay, especially in food, handling food. Geographical distribution endemic in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and even in Middle East. So outbreak still occurs in developed countries, especially with those food contaminated outbreaks. So how is the transmission? Okay, or what is the transmission of hepatitis A? This could be in fecal-oral route, which is the most common, via contaminated food, water, and hands, and close personal contact such as household members, sexual contact, and daycare center. Paano yung sexual contact? Usually oral sex. Okay, blood exposure is rare. Bakit? Kasi nga, more on your fecal oral yung transmission. So, involvement of fecal matter. And transmission from acute infected donors is very rare. At-risk group, usually travelers to endemic areas such as Philippines. People in low socioeconomic condition, yung mga gilid-gilid natin. Children in daycare center, okay? MSM, and intravenous drug user. Also, workers handling sewage and contaminated food are very high risk of this kind of infection. Pathogenesis and disease progression. So, entry and replication. So, virus enters via ingestion kasi nga fecal-oral route and resists stomach acid because they are naked virus and can resist high acid, high acidity. And they reach usually the small intestine. They are absorbed into the bloodstream and targets your hepatocyte in the liver. Kaya nga usually, ito ang manifestation ng jaundice. Dito usually nagmamanifest si jaundice as early manifestation. And the viral replication, your hepatitis A replicates in hepatocyte and copper cells in the liver. Okay, and released into bile, wherein they are excreted in feces and high viral shedding in early stage. Kaya nga, fecal-oral route yung transmission niya. And how is the immune response? Usually, the cytotoxic T cells and NK cell attack the infected hepatocyte, leading to inflammation and liver cell damage. Kaya nga mas mabilis yung jaundice when it comes to hepatitis A. And no chronic phase because immune system clears the virus completely. Okay? So, ano usually naiiwan? Medyo yellowish pa rin yung mata when it comes to hepatitis A. And resolution, complete recovery with lifelong immunity. So, no carrier state. So, once you recover from this kind of infection. So, clinical manifestation, average incubation period is around 28 days. Okay, but it ranges around 15 to 50 days. And we do have phases of infection for hepatitis A. So, first phase is your prodromal stage or pre-ecteric stage. So, you are not yet jaundice. This usually lasts for about 3 to 7 days. So, what is the symptoms? So, you would like to manifest flu-like symptoms such as your fever, malaise, and fatigue. Okay, you could also manifest with gastrointestinal symptoms such as your nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and loss of appetite, accompanied with abdominal pain. And hepatic signs, syempre. Okay, right upper quadrant tenderness because of the destruction of your liver cells. Next phase is your ecteric phase. So dito maninilaw ka na. It lasts for about 2 to 6 weeks. So jaundice is predominating with yellowing of skin and eyes, due to bilirubin buildup. And dark urine and pale stool are usually manifested. Hepatomegaly, enlarged liver since medyo mas malaki na yung damage area. And pruritus. This is due to the bile salt accumulation in your skin. Kaya ka nangangate. Okay. So next is last phase of your infection is your recovery, which is your convalescent or the last week to months. So symptoms gradually resolve. So papunta ka na sa recovery. And liver function usually go back to normal. And immunity is lifelong. Severity in spectrum. So mild cases usually around 70%. So they are usually self-limiting with no complication. Pag severe cases naman, approximately 10%, prolonged symptoms and dehydration. So yan ang agapan natin. But this can be clearly eliminated in our body. And fulminant hepatitis, so less than 0.1 to 0.5%, rare, but can lead to acute liver failure, encephalopathy, and even death. So how do we diagnose? So elevation of your liver function test, our liver enzymes such as your ALT/AST around 10 to 100 times the normal values. They could also manifest with increased bilirubin and again manifestation of jaundice. ALP is increased and even your GTT. Serological test, your have specific test, IgG, IgM for your hepatitis A. Again, pag IgM, early infection, and diagnostic marker. Pag IgG naman, recovery and lifelong immunity. We could also utilize your RT-PCR on your blood or stool used in outbreak and research purposes only since your IgM is diagnostic marker na agad for hepatitis A. Prevention and control, we do have available vaccine and it is highly effective. But in the Philippines, since this is endemic, they don't require usually hepatitis A vaccine because usually meron na infected ang Pilipino. Okay? And they have immunity with this one. Hepatitis A vaccine is an inactivated virus, so they are usually recommended for all children at age 1, okay, travelers to endemic area, MSM, IV drug user, okay, patient with chronic liver disease such as hepatitis B and C, and even cirrhosis, and food handlers and healthcare workers. So vaccine, so Havrix, Vacta, so these are brand names. They are monovalent and inactivated. Twinrix, these are combined hepatitis A and B vaccine, and the dosing is usually 2 doses, which is 6 months apart, which provides a lifelong immunity. We could also use PEP or post-exposure prophylaxis. So same, vaccine plus IgG, immunoglobulin natin, sorry. Immunoglobulin within 2 weeks of exposure can prevent infection. And IG or immunoglobulin is prepared for immunocompromised or elderly patients. So for hygiene and sanitation, of course, this is very important in prevention since this is transmitted by a fecal-oral route. So hand washing with soap and water. Of course, your HAV is resistant to alcohol-based sanitizer kaya kailangan pa rin ng soap and water. Safe drinking water sanitation. So avoid raw shellfish and untreated water. Kaya nga sabi ko kanina, chlorinated na usually yung water natin. Proper food handling, so cooking, so they survives in raw undercooked seafood kaya usually thoroughly cook yung ating mga pagkain na dapat. Next is your Rheo viridae. For your Rheo viridae, okay, they are double-stranded RNA virus with an icosahedral non-envelope structure, making them highly stable in environment. So the name reovirus stands for respiratory enteric orphan virus. So as these viruses were initially detected in respiratory and enteric specimen without being linked to any specific disease. Kaya nga usually pag not linked to any specific disease, they are called as an orphan virus. Okay? So for Reoviridae, so we first have your rotavirus. Next is orthorheo. Okay, cultivirus, orbivirus. Okay, so rotavirus is the major cause of severe infantile gastroenteritis. So usually this is associated also with Norwalk virus or norovirus. So pag gastrointestinal infection, pag viral usually pag bata, it's Sapporo or your rotavirus. Bakit rota? Kasi nagro-rotate lang yung bata daw. Okay? Orthorhiovirus or reovirus, typically asymptomatic or mild infection na kinukos. Coltavirus this is usually related to Colorado tick fever, kaya nga Colti virus. Orbivirus mainly affects animals but can cause febrile illness in humans. And among this, your Rota and Colti virus are most clinically significant human pathogens. So first is your rotavirus. So most common, again, viral gastroenteritis in infants. Pagka-adult ang tinanong, na most common viral gastroenteritis, that is your noro or Norwalk virus. Pero pag infants, that is your rotavirus. Okay, or young children. Okay, double-stranded RNA with segmented genome, and they are usually naked or non-enveloped with triple-layered protein capsid. That's name. It's for its wheel-like appearance, kaya nga rota. Okay, under electron microscopy. Okay, high resistant to detergent, temperature change, and even acidic environment. Okay, so affects almost children age of 5 and most common in children age 6 months to 2 years old. causes around 100 million cases annually and leading to around more than 2 million hospitalization and 300,000 to 500,000 deaths annually. So seasonal pattern, more common in winter months. So they are related to winter, okay, in temperature regions. And transmission, okay, is usually via fecal-oral route, okay, via contaminated food, water, hands, and even surfaces. Okay, they can spread via fomites, but also suspected as by airborne transmission. So, a pathogenesis of this virus, usually there would be viral entry via ingestion and infects your small intestine enterocyte. So, there would be viral replication in the cytoplasm of your enterocyte that will destroy it and leading, of course, to malabsorption. And a malabsorption that will lead to a gastrointestinal manifestation. Next is your enterotoxin or your NSP4 protein that would stimulate your chloride secretion, leading to watery diarrhea. And immune response with IgA production, which provides term protection, but reinfects can still occur. So, possible ka pa rin magkaroon ng electrolyte imbalance. So, what are the clinical features of this? Incubation period is around 1 to 3 days. And symptoms is profuse watery diarrhea but not bloody. Take note, not bloody. And sudden vomiting with accompanied with moderate to high fever with severe dehydration because of the chloride imbalance. Okay? Severe cases can lead to electrolyte imbalance, hypovolemia because of the dehydration, and metabolic acidosis due to imbalance on um, electrolytes. Okay, next. How do we diagnose? Usually we utilize a stool antigen test, ELISA can be utilized, or latex agglutination test. Okay, RT-PCR is very helpful, and electron microscopy historically used but now replaced by rapid test because of very limited um, limited use of your electron microscopy. So next, you could use that on um, as a test but no, hindi na masyadong ginagamit. Next is electrophoresis of viral genome segment. Treatment. Supportive treatment only. We cannot treat directly by antiviral. So supportive. So if may diarrhea, usually we stop the diarrhea. If there is electrolyte imbalance, we supply electrolytes. Okay, and so on and so forth. And of course, importantly is your oral hydration therapy because dehydration is very common in these cases. Okay, intravenous fluids for severe dehydration can be utilized, and zinc supplementation to reduce severity on your gastrointestinal tract. Prevention. Rotavirus vaccine are available. So we do have brands of Rotarix with live attenuated monovalent pagkat Rotatec pentavalent naman. Okay? Hygiene is still the best measure for this one by hand washing and disinfection, and breastfeeding provides some protection by transferring maternal antibodies. Okay, next is your Colorado tick fever virus or Colty virus, wherein the vector are wood ticks, specifically your Dermacentor andersoni. Geographically distributed in western United States and Canada, and the reservoir are the usual small mammals such as your rodent and squirrel. So, transmission is via tick bite. And this manifests as biphasic fever. Okay? So, initial fever, mag-improve, then second fever spike. So, para pabalik-balik. Then headache, muscle pain, and fatigue, with some associated with leukopenia. But most of the viral diseases can cause leukopenia. Okay? Diagnosis, PCR test, serological blood smear, because no, we can see infected erythrocytes. And treatment is supportive care. No antiviral pa rin tayong available. And prevention, And tick bite avoidance, so protective clothing when doing jungle or hiking. So insect repellent can also help in reducing this one. So that is the last part, second part of your RNA viruses.